When Tim and I started Absolute Accounting Software Limited, we were mainly focusing on compliance software, making sure that people were able to file tax returns and file accounts easily and straightforwardly. Now, since then, the tax regime has changed quite a lot, creating all sorts of problems as far as dividends and savings and car allowances. All sorts of things have changed quite dramatically. And Tim has worked extremely hard to create some calculators which help people understand exactly what figures they should be anticipating. Of course, since then, we've also seen the development of excluded cases. Paper filing has come back in a big way. And Tim, our apps cover a whole range of things, but there are probably four main ones that we should look at first of all. First of all is the idea of how much tax will I pay as an individual?
Yes, our personal tax calculator calculates correctly the amount of tax and national insurance that the taxpayer will have to pay, whatever the combination of different types of income. And the real benefit of our calculator is that I've programmed it to make sure that we get it right in the light of the errors that we know are in the revenue's own calculator. And the exclusions that you just mentioned were first introduced for the tax year 16-17, and I'm afraid have been carried forward, many of them, and new ones introduced, to the tax year 17-18. And on top of the complications of dividend and interest income, we've also, for 18-19, got a far more complicated Scottish tax system, and for 17-18 we've got the restriction on interest for property businesses. And so all of that has been incorporated in our personal tax calculator, and what it will also do is work out the figure that the revenue calculator will come up with, so that users can see at a glance whether they're going to have to file on paper. And so this personal tax calculator does two things really. It works out accurately, with full workings, the personal tax liability, allocating allowances in the most optimal way, and it shows us whether the HMRC calculator will get it right, and if not, we'll have to notify the revenue or file on paper.
One of the things that a lot of people said to us in the lecture room as we were touring the country was that it was frustrating to do the calculation, then have to do the full calculation in their other software to have that comparison. And that was why you added that extra box, wasn't it? And that's the thing, you're always listening to what people want to have. And as far as the other ones we sell quite a few of, one of them, of course, is the old question of incorporation or not.
Yes, well, the incorporation calculator does what it says on the tin. You put in the trading profits of a sole trader, what other income they might have, and then it'll automatically compare the net income with what they would get if they incorporated and took that profit through a limited company. You can, of course, vary the dividends and salary that comes out of the company, and it has an optimized feature that will enable us to work out what the optimal combination of salary and dividend and interest would be for a particular scenario. So the incorporation app, which is necessary because, again, tax has become so complicated, is designed to help you advise clients who are thinking of trading through a limited company.
And then also company cars have become much more complicated. The choice of should I have a car, should I not have a car, what sort of car should I have? Again, a calculator that helps lead people through that particular...
That's right, and the benefit in kind calculation on its own is horribly complicated, especially with the new rules that will pick up if there's a car allowance, whether the optional remuneration arrangements come into play, but also it looks at the financing options, capital allowances, the difference for a director shareholder, for example, of having the car through the company or having his own car and claiming mileage allowances, and whether a sole trader would be better off leasing, having a private contract plan, or buying her car outright.
And of course, the whole remuneration package is something that we can look at with one of the other apps as well. Having dealt with the company car, we might then also move on to look at salary planner and exactly what we should be taking out in cash.
Well, the old planning point, salary versus dividend. And the third app in the calculator series does just that. It looks at a limited company and determines what the optimal combination of salary or dividend would be for the director shareholder of the limited company. And again, it's become far more complicated with the changes in the tax rules. I've also incorporated boxes where we can select whether the taxpayer is Scottish, whether the taxpayer has reached state pension age, because both of those will change the optimal combination that you might want to advise.
Have a look at the website and you should find all the information you want. If not, contact our office on the details on screen.